Welcome back, my dear students. The Browning version, Prose 6 for Standard 11, Part 1. First of all, let me tell you about the title. The title Browning's version is first a direct reference to the fact that the text is an adaptation of Agamemnon's tragedy written by Aeschylus. It means that the text is an adaptation by Robert Browning of the original. Mr. Crocker Harris is betrayed like Aeschylus by his wife. The betrayal may vary in intensity and kind, but the underlying theme is the same. Actually, there is a movie also made on the same topic, and I will give you the link also so that if you are interested, you can watch that movie. So let me begin the introduction part. This chapter is a short extract from the play The Browning version. It is a one-act play set in a school. There are three characters in the play: Taplow, Frank, and Mr. Crocker Harris. Taplow is 16 years old student, Frank is a young teacher, and Mr. Crocker Harris is a middle-aged schoolmaster. Taplow has arrived in the school to do extra work for Mr. Crocker Harris, and he meets Frank and they both engage in a conversation while Taplow waits for Mr. Harris. Later enters Millie, Mrs. Crocker Harris, who talks to Taplow. So let us continue with the details of the author. Sir Terence Marion Rattigan, CBE, was a British dramatist and screenwriter. His plays are typically set in an upper middle class background. He wrote The Winslow Boy, the Browning version, The Deep Blue Sea, and Separate Table, among many others. And you can see there are some vital informations about his life, his birth, his death, his movies, awards, and education. Let me tell you what is CBE. Actually, it stands for Commander of the Order of the British Empire. The CBE is the highest ranking order of the British Empire award. Okay. And now it is time for summary. The scene is set in a school where Taplow arrives to do extra work on the last day for Mr. Crocker Harris, as he missed a day before his work. He finds Frank, a science teacher in the school. Frank asked him his name and the reason he is there that day. Taplow studies in the lower 5th standard and is about to get his result from his teacher, Mr. Harris. Mr. Crocker Harris usually reveals the result on the last day of school, and unlike every other teacher, he follows the rules and regulations strictly. They both started having a conversation where Frank asked him several questions. We don't see Mr. Crocker Harris in the whole chapter, but we get to know a lot about him. Next, Taplow wants to take science as a remove because he finds the subject extremely interesting. Frank, on the other hand, does not like what he teaches in the school. Mr. Crocker Harris is hardly human, as he never shrivels up. He told Taplow that he will get what he deserves, nothing less and nothing more, and this makes him tensed. Taplow further imitates Mr. Harris twice in front of Frank. Frank admits that he envies Mr. Crocker Harris because of the effect he has on them. Taplow told him that he never shows his emotions like other teachers and never beats them up like other masters. He is not a sadist. As they were deeply engaged in a conversation, Millie enters and comes with a shopping bag. She asks Taplow to go out and come back in a quarter of an hour, as Mr. Crocker Harris will be late. If her husband arrives earlier, she will take the blame. She further gives him a prescription and instructs him to purchase medicines for her from the chemist. Taplow follows and goes away to do the job. So this is the summary of the whole chapter that you have to write in your notebooks. So this is the time to do some activity. You have already written the summary. Now let us play a small game, working with words. And what you have to do is, with the help of the first letter, you have to select, you have to find out, you have to guess what could be the answer. A sadist is a person who gets pleasure out of giving pain to others. Given below are some dictionary definitions of certain kinds of persons. Find out the words that fit these descriptions. Number 1. A person who considers it very important that things should be correct or genuine, for example, in the use of language or in the arts, and the first letter is P, and you have to guess which word is it. Okay, you keep on guessing. Second one. A person who believes that war and violence are wrong and will not fight in a war. P. Think about it. Okay, third one. A person who believes that nothing really exists. N. A person who is always hopeful and expects the best in all things. O. A person who follows generally accepted norms of behavior. C. And the last one is a person who believes that material possessions are all that matter in life. M. So keep on guessing. You can write also somewhere. And now I'm going to tell you the right answers. The first one, that P here shows perfectionist. And the second one is pacifist. The third one is nihilist. Fourth one is optimist. Fifth one is conventionalist. And the last one is materialist. Okay, so I hope you have got 6 on 6. And for this video, let me continue. So here you have lesson and its explanation. So it is a play and like a conversation, everything is written. Just below the conversation I have written the hard words and their meanings for your convenience. And now I'm going to start the chapter, explanation of this chapter. And you all know this is an excerpt from the Browning versions. The scene is set in a school. Frank is young and Crocker Harris is a middle-aged man. Both are masters. Taplow is a boy of 16 who has come in to do extra work for Crocker Harris, but the latter has not yet arrived and Frank finds Taplow waiting. So I'm going to start, but actually there is less time. So in the next video I'll continue. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching. An explanation of this chapter I will start in the next video. Hope you will share your reviews as usual. Thank you once again.